who said, "We were with the prophet when he raised his sight to the sky. Then he said, this is the time when knowledge is to be taken from the people until what remains of it shall not amount to anything."
Now, let me help you with the names here. Look what he says. Understand, servant of Allah, listen, these are your sources, whether you like it or not. Sahih, Quran. Don't like it, stop being a Muslim. But for the rest of you, watch what Muhammad just said. This is the time where the Muslims will lose knowledge. Knowledge will be taken away from them. So now watch the reaction of his companion. So Ziyad bin Labid al-Ansari said, now watch what he's saying, because you got to bring out the implication.
Yeah.
How will it be taken from us while we recite the Quran?
Yeah.
By Allah, we recite it, and our women and children recite it. Now, understand, guys, don't let the trolls distract you. Learn so you can evangelize the Muslims, so they can come to Jesus Christ, our Lord, their only hope of salvation. We want to see them get saved. You understand his response? Wait, Muhammad, we got the Quran preserved, and it contains ilm, the knowledge of Allah. How then can knowledge be taken away from us? The Quran is here. We read it. As long as you have the Quran, we'll always have knowledge, ilm. Now, watch Muhammad's response. He rebukes him. He actually curses him. Now watch him.
Yeah. He says, Muhammad said, "May you be bereaved of your mother, O Ziyad.
Wow.
I used to consider you among the fuqaha."
Yeah. Jurists, meaning one of the jurists, leading jurists.
"Of the people of Al-Madinah. The Torah and Injil are with the Jews and Christians, but what do they avail them of them? What do they avail of them?" Jabbar said.
Before we move on, now watch what the response is. Wait, man, I used to think you were smart. May you be bereaved of your mother. Now let me say what Muhammad just said. May your mother die and break your heart. That's what he just did. Muhammad just cursed his mother to die. May you be bereaved of your mother. May your mother die and your heart is broken for such a comment. I used to think you're intelligent, man. You're stupid. You're so stupid, Ziyad, you make Protestant believer look intelligent. May you be bereaved of your mother. May your mother die and break your heart. What a merciful prophet.
Yep.
Look what he says. He goes, hold on. The Torah and Injil are with the Jews and Christians, but what do they avail them? Did you catch it?
Yep.
Okay. He's saying, wait, Ziyad, the Jews and Christians, they have no knowledge, right? No. But they still have the Torah and the gospel, right? Yes. You understand? That's confirmation from a Sahih narration that Muhammad taught the Torah and the gospel remained uncorrupt and preserved, and they were in the hands of the Jews and Christians at his time, because he's using that as a comparison. Just like the Jews and Christians have their uncorrupt Torah and gospel, and they still have no knowledge, you Muslims will have the Quran and still have no knowledge. You understand the implication here?
Yep.
If the Torah and gospel are corrupt, then this argument makes no sense, because Zayd could say, wait, Muhammad, but they don't have uncorrupt scriptures. Their books are corrupted, which is why they have no knowledge. Right. So everyone understand how this hadith buries Hamza and his partner? This assumes, like the Quran remains uncorrupt, the Torah and the gospel are uncorrupt, still in existence, but it doesn't benefit the Jews and Christians. This is talking about Jesus. And we sent after on their tracks with Jesus. Now pick it up from there, brother, if you can. With Jesus, Mary's son, confirming for what is between his hands from the Torah/Old Testament. Musadikin lima Baina yadehi mina al Torati, and we gave him the New Testament/Bible. In it is guidance and light. You gotta be on crack, dude. You mean the Muslims translated the gospel that was given to Jesus as New Testament Bible?
New Testament Bible, Sam. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul's writings, the epistles. Yes.
And you must be on crack. Is you high?
I'm high on the spirit, baby.
Is you? Now finish it. Yeah, you'll see.
And confirming to what is between his hands from the Torah/Old Testament. Wa musadikin lima baina yadehi mina al Torati, and guidance and a sermon, advice, warning to the fearing and obeying. And the New Testament/Bible's people should judge/rule with what God descended in.
Now I know you on crack, boy. Is you high? How can the Muslims say to the Christians at Muhammad's time, they are the people of the New Testament Bible? Because here, Muhammad is now telling the Christian, you people of the New Testament Bible, judge by the New Testament Bible that Jesus left you. Because if you don't, what are they? Finish it.
If you don't, let's see where was that. Oh, here. And who does not judge/rule with what God descended, so those they are the debauchered.
You're telling me, Muhammad is telling the Christian, you judge by your gospel because that's the gospel Jesus brought you and you have. And the Muslims are acknowledging, well, the only gospel they had is the New Testament Bible. So you follow your gospel, which in historical context means follow your New Testament Bible. And if you don't, you're a debaucher?
That's correct.
But Hamza's telling me if I follow my New Testament, I'm a debaucher.
That is correct.
because this is the context where the Jews come to Muhammad. Now, guys, the Jews are coming to Muhammad and asking Muhammad to judge. Allah tells Muhammad, tell them, don't go to you. Go to what? Read that for me. Just that part where it's all capital.
Yep. It says the Torah, the Old Testament.
But no, start with the context. And how do they ask you to judge rule? And at them is the Torah, Old Testament. In it is God's judgment, rule. Then they turn away from after that. And those are not with the believing. That we descended the Torah, Old Testament. Did you guys catch it? In it is guidance and light. So here's what's ironic. Muslims tell you, don't go to your Bible. It's corrupt. Come to the Quran. Muhammad's telling the Jews, don't come to me. Notice it's saying, Allah's telling Muhammad, even though we don't believe Allah's God, but for argument's sake, Allah's telling Muhammad, why are the Jews coming to you? Tell them to go to the Torah Old Testament. They have the Torah Old Testament. So did you see Ahmed Samira understood Torah could only mean Old Testament. That's how they translated it.
Yeah.
In its historical context, the only Torah they had was the Old Testament.
Yeah.
So here, Muhammad tells them, you have the Old Testament, your Torah, Old Testament. Go to it. Don't come to me. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is hilarious.
Muslims tell you and I, go to the Quran. Your Bible's corrupt. Muhammad said, don't come to me. Go to your Bible. Now scroll down to near the end, the black part. Now watch.
All right. And we have cast enmity and hatred among the followers of the Bible. If the followers of the Bible would but obtain the truth of God's consciousness, we should indeed efface their bad deeds and indeed bring them into gardens of bliss. Say, O followers of the Bible, you have no valid ground for your beliefs unless you observe the Torah and the Gospel and all that has been bestowed on you by your sustainer.
Are you kidding me? 568 says the Jews and Christians are nothing unless they follow their Bible and the revelation given to them.
That's what he says. Yeah, man.
All right, now the final one, 4153.
The followers of the Old Testament demand of thee, O prophet, that you cause a revelation to be sent down from heaven.
Wait, he just called the followers of the Torah the followers of the Old Testament? I think we buried this objection.
It's over. Now, I see that you got links here, right? I want to click on this just to see.
We'll do English translation, I guess. Or just go to the home. No, go to the home. All right, let me find it for you. Let's try to see if you can go home. Okay, there it is right there. Scroll down. Look at all. If you scroll down, look. Now, you see it? Just click on one verse. It's going to show you a dozen English translations. This is the best one. Use this. Now scroll. Look how many translations you get.
Yeah, this is awesome. Got Arabic transliteration.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, this is nice.
I didn't know you didn't know about it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I think I was actually shown this once by a friend, but only once. You even got Aisha Bewley on here.
Yep, they got it all, man. This is better than any other Quranic browser. It has all the major translations and transliterations in Arabic for comparison. It's right there, man.
That's amazing. All right, so this is now saved.
All right, brethren. So do you guys feel that argument got destroyed? This is why Hamza will avoid me like the plague. And if Hamza's stupid enough to debate him, this man by the power of the Spirit is going to pulverize him because he knows the argument.
Yep, it'll be a wrap. All right, so man, that was beautiful. I love that argument, man. The Islamic dilemma. There's no way around it. I love going on Muslim platforms and talking about it and using it. It's amazing. It's fun to use. Yeah, you guys can go on any platform. If you're sound with that argument, you know the arguments, you know what the scholars say. It's unrefutable, irrefutable. So irrefutable.
The people who brought forward the verses had to be oral. Different people orally and written, because the Prophet Muhammad, when he recited a verse, he would call commissioned writers to record the verse, and non-commissioned writers would record the verse. The Quran today is what was revealed by Muhammad. Why? Because they're reciting it, so they're memorizing it. If you change the Quran, you can't change the memory. Like they talk about the nonsense about the goat eating a verse of the Quran. How does that change the memory of the people who recorded the verse? When the Quran was compiled, there was.
You get it?
Okay, so I'm going to let Sahih Bukhari destroy his lie. Okay, did you guys hear what he said? That people memorized it, wrote it down, and then Muhammad supposedly reviewed it. Is that what he said?
Yep, that Muhammad had a commission when he would recite it. He would call the commission for the people to write it down and recite it and all that kind of stuff. Yep, and he was there for all of that.
What we're going to do is we're going to let his own hadiths destroy that lie, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm going to share another article. Now, I just gave the link to Sahih Bukhari, volume 6, number 509. So I'm going to bring it on screen. We're just going to let Bukhari destroy this argument. Okay, now I'm going to let you in another secret. I have an article that I'm going to share in a minute. Did you know that Uthman ibn Affan persecuted Abdullah ibn Masud because Abdullah Ibn Masud refused to give up his Quran. He felt was superior to the Quran of Zayd ibn Thabit. And that when Abdullah ibn Masud entered a mosque where Uthman was, Uthman started insulting him. And Abdullah returned the insult. And then Uthman incited a riot. And he got Abdullah beaten up and his ribs broken. Do you guys know that? Now, this lie that the Quran was perfectly preserved through memorization, all you need to do is spend just a little time in the Muslim sources, and you're going to see that the companions of Muhammad who had memorized the Quran, when they wrote down the Quran from what they learned from Muhammad, they were contradicting one another. Their Qurans were not uniform, leading to Muslim groups accusing the others of corrupting the Quran, adding or taking away from it, which led to Uthman commanding Zayd to gather 3 other Qurayshi to then make fresh copies of the Quran that Zayd was commissioned to make by Abu Bakr. Now, this is where this hadith comes in if you want to read it.
The homie, Abu Bakr as-Sadiq, sent for me when the people of Yamama had been killed, i.e., a number of the Prophet's companions who fought against Musaylimah. I went to him and found Umar bin al-Khattab sitting with him. Abu Bakr then said, Umar has come to me and said casualties were heavy among the Qur'an of the Quran, i.e., those who knew the Quran by heart. They were dying on the day of the battle of Yamama.
So get it? There was a battle between the mothers. The battle of Yo Mama. No, Yo Mama, sucker.
And I am afraid that more heavy casualties may take place among the Qur'an on other battlefields, whereby a large part of the Quran may be lost.
Now pause right there for a second. Notice what's happening. As the jihadis are going to murder and rape and loot, many of the memorizers of the Quran are being killed. So now Umar ibn al-Khattab is afraid. If this keeps up, we may lose the Quran because the memorizers of the Quran are dying. But hold on. Why would he be afraid, Avery, of the loss of the Quran if it was memorized by multitudes and written down? That's the first problem, right?
Yes.
Now watch the second problem, destroying his life. Because he said in the life of Muhammad, right? He's super right. Okay, now watch. When Umar tells Abu Bakr, do something to preserve the Quran, look at the suggestion. Look at Abu Bakr's reaction.
So let's see, we're in a moment. And I am afraid of it because of the Quran. All right. Therefore, I suggest you, Abu Bakr, order that the Quran be collected. I said to Umar, how can you do something which Allah's apostle did not do?
Say that again.
How could you do something which Allah's apostle did not do?
But didn't Hamza say Muhammad actually did that in his lifetime?
Yes. He said that he had committees come, had them write down the Quran, had them collected and write down the Quran.
Wait, you're telling me Hamza again knows more about Islam than his own
Muhammad
sources?
Yes.
So
more than Bukhari, more than Muhammad.
Sahih Bukhari, the most authentic collection of narrations. Abu Bakr, if you guys don't know who Abu Bakr is, he's Muhammad's father-in-law who gave his 9-year-old to Muhammad to then molest in the name of Allah, consummated marriage when she was 9. He says, you want me to do something that Muhammad did not do? Interesting. But now continue as I warm up my coffee, sir, because, you know, the heat is on, baby.
The heat is on. All right. So Umar said, by Allah, that is a good project. Umar kept on urging me to accept his proposal till Allah opened my chest for it, and I began to realize the good in the idea which Umar had realized. Then Abu Bakr said, you are a wise young man, and we do not have any suspicion about you. And you used to write the divine inspiration for Allah's messenger. So you should search for the fragmentary scripts of the Quran and collect it in one book.
So wait, it wasn't already collected in one volume? That's why he had to go find it piecemeal? But if it was already collected, what need is there for him to go and find it and discover it among bones and tree bark and the memorization of people? Wouldn't have already been all combined and collected in one?
Matter of fact, since everybody memorizes and stuff, and why not the caliphate? Why can't Abu Bakr or Umar,
right?
Or even, I mean, he said that Zayd bin Thabit used to write the inspiration, so doesn't he memorize it? Why can't they just write it all down right there?
Oh, but he'll say they need multiple witnesses confirmed. No, because the problem is that it says he has to search for it because it's fragmentary and collected in one book.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean it wasn't collected in one book?
Nope, not one.
Okay, interesting. But now watch Zayd's reaction.
By Allah, if they had ordered me to shift one of the mountain, it would not have been heavier for me than this, ordering me to collect the Quran.
Now, why would it be easier? Why would it be easier, brethren, to move a mountain than collect the Quran? Did you understand what Zayd's reaction is? He's horrified. Wait. Had they told me to move a mountain, that would have been easier than collect the Quran. No. If people memorize the Quran, the easiest thing is to collect the Quran. But he says, no, on the contrary, it's easier to move a mountain than collect the Quran. What the hell is Hamza talking about, dude? Now, honestly, does this guy think we're that stupid that we're not going to go and check his sources, that we're just going to blindly follow him? Now, see, this tells you why Islam is rotten. Because Allah is khairul makirin, the best of deceivers. The kind of God you worship will impact the kind of person you'll be. Since their God is a deceiver, they do not have any shame in lying and deceiving. Mm-hmm. But our God is a God of truth, so we make sure we study to show that we are workmen of God, approved by God. 2 Timothy 2:15.
Amen.
Did he not think we're going to go and find out if he's telling us the truth? Why would it be easier to shift a mountain from its place than collect the Quran? Because if they memorize it, the easiest thing is to collect the Quran. See, that's another lie, right?
Yeah.
Keep going.
I hope you guys are, man. Learn these arguments, man. Learn these arguments. Learn the method of questioning. You know, there's so many ways that you can go about attacking a point that Hamza made like this. He's not the only one that makes this type of argument. All of them do. A lot of them do. So learn how to address it. You can have so much fun with it. I promise you. All right, let's keep reading. Says the one who used to write it and memorize it. I started looking for the Quran from what was written on palm stalks, thin white stones, and also from the men who knew it by heart, till I found.
Wait, I'm confused. He had to find it in scattered places and pieces?
Mm-hmm.
So he had to find them in palm stalks, white stones, from men memorized?
Some of them, not all of them.
Wow. And then still, only one man had memorized chapter 9, verse 128, 129. Of all the people he interviewed, guys, he could only find one man, Abi Khuzayma al-Ansari. Now, if you guys don't know what an Ansari is, this is now a problem, Muslims. Now, this is the final clip. We can take a little time with this. I don't want to rush through this. Can't go super in depth, but we'll go enough depth to whet your appetite. Al-Ansari means one of the helpers. Let me give you the history of Islam. That means this man wasn't a Muslim in Mecca, in Medina. Al-Ansari means the helpers, those who came from Medina about 13 years after Muhammad was preaching in Mecca and swore allegiance to him. That means chapter 9, verse 128, 129 is found in some later Muslim convert, only years after Muhammad, and he's the only one who has chapter 9, verse 128, 129. Now, they'll say, well, Surah At-Tawbah is a Medinan surah. Okay, that's fine, but the Muslims who've been with Muhammad, like Abdullah Ibn Masud, who memorized, if they had all memorized the Quran, the same, perfect memorization, why is it that Zayd can only find the last two verses of chapter 9, which is 128, 129, with Abi Khuzayma al-Ansari? Now, here's what's shocking. Do you know that Rashad Khalifa, the one who was murdered in 1990 in Tucson, Arizona, for claiming to be the Messenger of Allah, who found mathematical patterns of the Quran with the number 19, and the followers of this man, he produced an English translation of the Quran. So did his followers. Rashad Khalifa Quran, and then the Quran, a reformist translation. Did you know he used these hadiths to show that verses 128, 129 are interpolations? They're not part of the Quran, so that he can include them as part of his Quran.
Wow.
If you read his Quran, they're not there. If you read his Quran, they're omitted, and he has then an appendix explaining why. Now, his followers, they're called submitters. Quran Reformist translation, they put it in italics and then give you a note. These verses are interpolation. So he quotes these narrations saying, see, these verses were added because only one man could bear witness to their veracity. And then he says, this mathematical pattern of 19,
wow.
Well, the more proof they shouldn't be there because they were interpolations, and he removed them then that miraculous pattern 19 remains intact.
Wow.
Let me show you this Quran, by the way, so you can see it, so you guys can see with your own eyes. If you go to this Quran browser, let me just do one thing. We got like 20, 30 minutes, right? Are you in a rush?
Yeah, no, yeah. We got about 30 minutes, yeah.
Okay, because I'm not going to go into, but just enough to guys show you these men will not debate those who know their faith and their tradition. Right here, this is our browser, but let me do something because I want to show you that when you go to the Quran at the end of his Quran, you're going to see it ends at 127. And it's significant because do you know that chapter 9 was 128 deifies Muhammad by attributing to Muhammad to the names of Allah? You see how bad it gets? You see how bad it gets. Now, if you go there, open it up, let me show you Khalifa, let me just do this. And what you're going to do is, when you go to Khalifa, if you open it up, let me show you something.
Okay, hold on. Where's, oh, here he is.
This is the browser that's part of Answering Islam website, but it's not like Islam Awaken. Islam Awaken.
Yeah, I have this one.
Okay, so you see where it says Khalifa?
Yep.
You're going to click on that box.
Yeah.
Okay. Now watch the shock. When you bring it up on the screen, I'll show you something because I can see it. So now navigate with you.
Yeah,
watch here.
See? Oh, hold on, it's not on the screen. Oh, my bad. I thought it was on the screen this whole time. So yeah, I got it marked.
Okay, now put 9 in the search engine. 9. Just put 9.
All right.
Right.
That's it.
And put submit. Now you're going to scroll to the bottom and click until you could get to the last page. Now see what it says here for more at the bottom. Here for more. Go down again until you get to the last part. Here for more. Is that in the hundreds? Did you catch it? Now enlarge it. There's the 128, 129.
Khalifa considered this verse to be satanic and not in the Quran. Wow.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I see it. All right.
Excited now. You got more material to go use.
Oh yeah. You should not have showed me this, man.
But then take it with Bukhari. Say, wait, how come these verses are only found with Khuzaymah?
I'm the wrong one.
Right?
I'm the wrong one to have these facts, man. I'm the wrong one. He doesn't have it, right?
Okay, now go back to the Quran browser. Ignore him. Just put 9:128.
Okay.
9:128. Okay, 9:128, and then remove that. Yeah. Click 9:128. Now watch this. Remember, if you go 9:128, Muhammad is called what? There hath come unto you a messenger, one of yourselves, unto whom ought that ye are overburdened, as grievous, full of concern for you, for the believers, full of pity, merciful. Ra'uf, Rahim. Those are the two names given to Allah in every other occurrence of the Quran. If you go to the bottom, Muhammad is called Ra'uf, Rahim. Ra'uf, Rahim. Ra'ufun, Rahimun. You put that in the search engine, and it's going to show you every other time those words appear, it's used of Allah.
Does this database have a search engine for that?
Yes. If you just do Ra'ufun, and you put it in that same box, put in the same box
as the search is the last one.
Submit, and boom, it comes up. So isn't it interesting that this passage gives Muhammad two of Allah's names? Click.
Wow, look at this.
And what shows up? Now notice Allah. All right.
God,
and it's
God, Allah.
Now, if you go to chapter 9, Ra'ufun, Rahimun is used of Allah in that same surah.
Really?
You got to find chapter 9.
Okay, going back to chapter 9.
No, just stay there. Stay there. It's going to take you. It's going to show you all the occurrences.
Oh, okay. See, yep. Oh, yeah, here it is in chapter 9, verse 117.
Now, what does it call Allah? Ra'uf, right? Go down to the bottom, see the names.
Yeah.
Ra'ufun, Rahimun, the same two names.
Yep. Wow. And return the manuscripts to you.
Now, I'm confused, Avery. This is the copy that Zayd compiled during the time of Abu Bakr. Now, if you guys don't know who Hafsa is the daughter of Umar ibn al-Khattab, the widow of Muhammad. So when the Quran was compiled during Abu Bakr, that Quran remained in Abu Bakr's possession. When Abu Bakr died, it remained in Umar's possession. When Umar died, it was entrusted to his daughter. Now, I'm really confused.
Yeah.
Why the hell was this Quran compiled by Zayd kept with Abu Bakr, then Umar and Hafsa, and not widely circulated if it was for mass consumption? Can you explain that to me?
I can't. I can't.
What is she doing with the Quran? I thought Zayd compiled it for mass consumption, but it turns out Abu Bakr had it, and then Umar had it, and then Umar, when he died, his daughter inherited it. So then Uthman says, go and ask her so you can make fresh copies of it, and we'll return her original to her. So keep going.
Hafsa sent it to Uthman. Uthman then ordered Zayd bin Thabit, Abdullah bin Azubair, Said bin Alas, and Abdur Rahman
But if you
bin
guys don't know
Harith.
what ass means, it means the ass. Sayyid bin the ass. Bring ass. Just kidding. But go ahead, yeah. And Abdul Rahman bin Harith bin Hisham to rewrite the manuscripts in perfect copies. Eh? Keep on.
Right. To rewrite in perfect copies. Uthman said to the three Qurayshi men, in case you disagree with Zayd bin Thabit on any point in the Quran, then write it in the dialect of Quraysh. The Quran was revealed in their tongue.
Now, can I ask you a side question, Avery?
Go ahead.
One of the arguments that Muslims often tell me is you don't have the original words of Jesus in his original language. It's in Greek. Right. Okay. Now, help me. I'm a little slow. I'm not as smart as Protestant believer. So help me. I'm a little slow. So the Quran is written in the Qurayshi dialect, a 7th century dialect of Arabic. Not everyone spoke it. But last time I checked, the Quran makes up speeches of Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Adam, Jesus and his followers. So it quotes them speaking Qurayshi Arabic. So if the Muslims have a problem that I don't have Jesus's words in his mother tongue Aramaic in a translation, then why do the Muslims believe the Quran, when it quotes Jesus and his followers, or his mother, or John the Baptist, or Abraham, or Isaac and Jacob, and has all of them speaking in 7th century Qurayshi Arabic when none of them knew that language? But then what the Muslims say, because Allah is able to reveal the words of these men in Muhammad's language accurately. But he can't do that for Greek. So Allah can do it for Arabic, but not for Greek, huh?
Correct.
Okay, okay. Now I figured out now. Go ahead.
Okay, so they did so, right? They wrote it in the dialect, Quraysh dialect. And when they had written many copies, Uthman returned the original manuscripts to Hafsa. Uthman sent to every Muslim province one copy of what they had copied, and ordered that all the other Quranic materials, whether written in fragmentary manuscripts or whole copies.
Muslims, you should be embarrassed by this. Now, guys, understand that last part. Uthman took Qurans written by Muhammad's companions, people who knew Muhammad, learned from Muhammad, wrote down the Quran in Arabic, and he burned Arabic Qurans. He destroyed the very Arabic Qurans, even whole Qurans. See, whole ones. Some had written whole Qurans. They were teaching others. He burned all of them. He wasn't inspired. Gabriel didn't tell him to do that. He wasn't given wahi. He decided to gather the Qurans of Muhammad's companions who wrote down the Quran that they learned from Muhammad, but because they were so contradictory and in conflict, they were contradicting one another, leading the Muslims to come to blows. He still decided, you know what? I don't care if this man learned the Quran from Muhammad and wrote it down. I'm going to burn it anyway. So why do you Muslims flip when the unbelievers burned Qurans, when Uthman burned the very Qurans written by Muhammad's very own companions? He destroyed all of them, and he standardized the one Quran that he thought was more legitimate than the rest.
And this is where the original Quran was lost.
Exactly.
This is why we believe in the original Quran that lines up with the gospel, that says Jesus is God and died on the cross, but it was corrupted by Uthman and company, and they corrupted and tampered with the Quran. All right.
It came to the point that Abdullah Ibn Masud, now you're going to see why he's important. Here's the article, guys. Here's the article. He's going to open it up. The sound narrations. Mama, let me call you back. I'm on live stream, Mommy. Okay. I love you. All right. The sound narrations, Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, he's going to bring it up. Muhammad said, learn the Quran from 4. Ibn Thabit. The two men he mentioned, Abdullah Ibn Masud and Ubay bin Ka'b. In fact, Abdullah ibn Masud was considered the best.
Yeah.
Watch right here. Watch what he did to their Qurans and what he did to Abdullah ibn Masud, who refused to give up his Quran. Abdullah ibn Masud said, no, I'm not going to give up the Quran. What are you talking about? I learned over 70 surahs from Muhammad when Zayd was still a baby, because Zayd was not a Muslim when Abdullah ibn Masud became Muslim. Abdullah ibn Masud was a Muslim Mecca. Zayd is from Medina. That means over 13 years later, Zayd comes into the picture. And then Abdullah Ibn Masud says, wait, you want me to give up my Quran for him? What are you, crazy? Now watch his status. Just read the hadith.
Abdullah bin Masud reported that he said to his companions to conceal their copies of the Quran, and further said, he who conceals anything, he shall have to bring that which he had concealed on the day of judgment. And then said, after whose mode of recitation you command me to recite? I, in fact, recited before Allah's Messenger more than 70 chapters of the Quran, and the companions of Allah's Messenger know it, and that I have better understanding of the book of Allah than they do.
What? He's saying, I know the Quran better than all of his companions?
Yeah.
Now, did anyone object? Read this.
And if I were to know that someone had better understanding than I would have gone to him. Shakik said, I sat in the company of the companions of
that's a typo. It's supposed to be Muhammad.
Oh, okay, of Muhammad. All right. I sat in the company of the companions of Muhammad, but I did not hear anyone having rejected that that is his recitation or finding fault with.
Nobody?
Not a noun sound.
And it's also on sunnah.com, right?
All right, let's click
on
it. Dang. It was narrated from Qais bin Marwan that he came to Umar and said, I have come from Kufa, O Amir al-Mu'mineen.
Oh, the leader of the believers, Amir al-Mu'mineen.
And I left behind in it a man who dictates the Mus'haf from memory. Okay. What is Kufa?
From memory?
Yeah.
So he had memorized the Quran.
Yeah. He memorized it. Okay. He dictates it from memory. Umar got exceedingly angry and said, who is he? Woe to you. He said, Abdullah bin Masud. Umar began to calm down and went back to normal. Yeah. Then he said, woe to you. I do not know of anyone who is more qualified to do that than him.
Wait, Umar even said there was no one more qualified than Abdullah ibn Masud to recite the Quran from memory, write it down. So why did they go with Zayd? And why did Uthman demand Abdullah ibn Masud to give up his Quran? And because he wouldn't, he had him beaten up and had his ribs broken. It's in that article.
Yep, keep reading. Okay, cool. Because this is fun.
But this is da'if too, brother. It's not sahih.
Nope. It actually has two sahih chains, two sahih isnads.
What? You're telling me the sahih narration is Abdullah bin Masud was the best? And Muhammad said, learn the Quran from him if you want to learn it fresh?
Yeah, that's correct.
And Umar said he was the best. And then Abdullah Masud said, I know the Quran more than all the companions, and no one objected?
That's right.
Now, we'll read one more narration from Bukhari. It's there if you go back. And then I'm going to show you where Abdullah bin Masud said, I'm not going to give up my Quran. Uthman resented him. And then when Abdullah bin Masud was deployed from his office because of Uthman's jealousy, and you're going to read it. These are not only Shia sources, they're also credible sources. Let's just say it's the Shia. You're going to read that when Abdullah bin Masud walked in the mosque and Uthman was there, he started making fun of Abdullah bin Masud. Aisha was there, rebuking Uthman. How dare you make fun of a companion Muhammad? Abdullah bin Masud returned the insult, and then he incited Khan to beat Abdullah Masud and got his ribs broken, all because Abdullah bin Masud thought that Uthman was shady and did not want to give up his Quran. Sahih Bukhari, what does it say about who to learn the Quran from? Watch. Look what Muhammad says. Click on it, you can see.
Learn the recitation of the Quran from four. Abdullah bin Masud.
He started with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's first.
Salim, the freed slave of Abu Hudayfa. Mu'ad bin Jabal and Ubay bin Ka'b.
Now, Abdullah bin Masud, Ubay bin Ka'b, they're important. Because the narration is what says that Ubay bin Ka'b was the master of the Quranic reciters. Now notice the two. Did you know this is in the Muslim sources? We don't have time. Maybe we'll do an entire session just on this. But it's all in the articles. Save the links. The Muslim sources say, guys, I'm not lying. The sound authentic sources say, Abdullah bin Masud only had 111 surahs. Because he said Surah Al-Fatiha is a prayer. And chapters 113 and 114 are prayers. Ubay bin Ka'b had 116 surahs. So notice, Abdullah bin Masud had 111. Ubay bin Ka'b, two of the four men, 116. And then Abdullah bin Masud had verses Ubay bin Ka'b didn't have. And Ubay bin Ka'b had verses Abdullah Ibn Masud didn't have. And yet, Uthman, his Quran is only 114 chapters, and he doesn't contain many of the verses found in Ibn Masud and Ubay bin Ka'b. And this is all from Sunni sources. I got it documented.
Yeah.
So are you seeing this, guys? 2 of the 4 Muslims couldn't even agree how many chapters. Ubay bin Ka'b had 116 chapters. Abdullah ibn Masud had 111. And Abdullah ibn Masud had verses that Ubay didn't have. Ubay had verses Masud didn't have. And Uthman has 114 chapters. And he's missing verses found in Abdullah ibn Masud's Quran and Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran. How do we know? Because the Sunni sources document and even tell us some of the verses. And I'm going to give you one verse as an example. Just one. And here Hamza is telling us the Quran is perfectly preserved.
Yeah.
Now, to show you how this man got beat, for the sake of time, if you do Command F, so you can go straight there, okay? Here it is, the section where he gets his ribs broken. You can read that. We'll just read one citation. The historian Yaqubi.
The historian Yaqubi writes in his book that Uthman collected the Quran and arranged it in such a way that he placed big surahs together and the small surahs together separately, and sending for copies from all sides, got them washed with hot water and vinegar and set fire to them.
He did what to them?
Set fire to them.
Damn.
Telling you. As a result of it, no Quran was left except the copy belonging to Ibn Masud, which was with him in Kufa.
Oh, so he didn't give it up?
Nope.
Okay.
Sure didn't.
Right.
When Abdullah ibn Amr, the governor of Kufa, asked Ibn Masud for his copy, he refused to give it to him. At this news, Uthman wrote to Amir to arrest Ibn Masud and send him to Medina. When Ibn Masud came and entered the masjid, Uthman was busy delivering his speech. Seeing Ibn Masud, he said, an ugly and ill-natured animal has come.
Right there, read what he says. Okay. This is Abdullah Yusuf Ali. The late Muslim Abdullah Yusuf Ali records that Ubay bin Ka'b, a companion of Muhammad, and I can't read the rest, and considered, you can
to
read
be
that.
One of the best reciters and readers, had an additional clause which was also attested by other Muslim readers. In spiritual relationship, the Prophet is entitled to more respect and consideration than blood relations. The believers should follow him rather than their fathers or mothers or brothers, where there is conflict of duties. He is even nearer, closer to our real interests than our own selves. In some qira'ats,
meaning Qurans, right?
Like that of Ubay ibn Ka'b, occur also the words, and he is a father to them.
You see that, brother?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is footnote 3674. Now, brother, this is not the qira'at. These are the Quran copies before the qira'at. You understand? These are the masahif, the codices. In other words, this is another example of Qurans written by companions that had verses that Uthman omitted. So like when you bring up Ajabtu and Ajaba, this is even worse because these are statements in the copies of Muhammad's companions, Ubay bin Ka'b, Ibn Abbas, Abdullah bin Masud, the best reciter, 2 of the 4 men Muhammad mentioned, that Uthman does not have. So not only do you have the qira'at, the different Arabic versions of the Uthmanic recension, here you're having Muslims admit that the Qurans of the companions had verses not found. Slam dunk, brother, we're done.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, learn the stuff, learn the arguments, all right? Save the articles, save the links. I don't know if you guys saw, but I was doing that myself, saving some of the links and things of this nature. I'm going to go back later, organize it, and I can't wait to use it. I cannot wait to use it. Man,
by the way,
this is
if you can, maybe you can put the links in your description box, even for yesterday, because I read a comment. Someone wanted links. I shared with them. So they'll be able to find it quicker. Now, I give you my permission, guys. You don't need to ask me. My materials are yours. Take the articles, translate them, but don't charge. I'm not charging you. Take my videos, clip them, do what you want, but you have to then promise me. Learn the facts, understand them, and share them correctly, and share them because our Lord Jesus is worthy that we proclaim this until we see Islam erased and Muslims saved, because their only hope of salvation is to come to the true God revealed in Jesus Christ.